Alright, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the beginning of a new series on this channel. And before I go any further, do not worry, this is not the end of the previous series I've been doing along, the historical victory videos. Those will continue, but this is a new series I am starting. This is going to be a multiplayer game in the World War II in the Pacific mod. With a few tweaks and a few house rules going on, but I'm going to be playing against two other human opponents. Tigranes will be controlling the Commonwealth, and Areg will be controlling the United States of America. And I, as you can see clearly, I will be controlling Japan. So this is going to be exciting. It's been a while since I played any Civilization 4 multiplayer, and when I did play those games, it was against friends who I guess weren't as adept at the game as I am. So this is gonna be very exciting, and of course, as we all know, Japan lost the real life war in the Pacific, and I am up against two human opponents here. So what I'm trying to say is the odds are stacked against me. So I am asking you guys for feel free to leave comments and suggestions and ideas about what I should be doing in this series. Where I should attack, where I should defend, movements I should be making. Yeah, feel free to leave any sorts of comments. I'll be reading them all because I need lots of ideas. But yes, this is going to be exciting, I think. This first video is going to be a little bit longer, I expect, than all the other subsequent videos in this series, because this is going to be a play by email series. So how it's going to work is I'm going to play one turn at a time and send it along to the next guy. So it'll take a few days to get back to me. So no, this series will not be interrupting my other series. This is like taking one turn at a time, maybe like 20 minutes, 30 minutes on average. Yeah, and I'll be trying to upload these videos every several days or so, whenever I get the chance to play it. But of course, the historical victory videos, those can be upwards of 8 or 9 or 10 hours. So those are always going to be like a little bit harder to make compared to these. But yeah, I think this is going to be exciting. I'm going to spend the first however long talking about all the aspects of this mod that you guys need to know. Alright, let me type a password real quick. Alright, so starting off, okay, we got a lot to talk about because this is a completely different situation. Okay, starting off, controlling Japan. Let's start there. In this mod, every single civilization has their own unique units. Like the British have British infantry. They're going to be different strength than mine, Japanese infantry, and they can upgrade into different, 41, 43, 45, that sort of thing. And they're going to be different strengths than American infantry, 45, you can see. He's 6 points stronger. So very modeled on historical accuracy. So all sorts of unique units, tanks, infantry, battleships, aircraft. Yeah. Our unique building is the shale plant. Replaces the coal plant, gives an extra 10% production. This is from the base game, I believe. Doesn't require coal, but it gives power. And then our two traits are aggressive, free combat promotion, and double production speed of barracks, dry dock, and shipyard, and imperialistic. 100% great general emergence, and +1 food on plots with 3 food. So some of the things have been changed a little bit. Let's look at the civics real quick. So I think I'm pretty much going to stick with these. This mod is all about tactics and strategy. It's not so much about like civic swapping and all that. So there's only a couple other civics I could swap, but they're not really appealing. So drafted army lets me draft. But standing army gives more free units and +2 experience. I'll go over why I don't think drafted army is worth it in a little bit. I'll get to that. Socialism, increased birth rate, but plus maintenance costs from corporations, We have 2 corporations that I want to spread, plus a lot of cities, so plus 1 trade route. I think it's worth it to just stay here in free market. And mobilization increases military unit production. Of course, we're going to be making a ton of military units. Consumer goods, more science from specialists, which is very nice, but I can't give up mobilization. So civics are pretty much going to be a non-factor in this mod. That's what I was going for. Technology, let's get that out of the way. So here in the top right, you can see it's early December 1941, which means, of course, that I have a certain fleet ready to attack a certain harbor. But the point is, here in the early stages of the war, the advantage is generally on my side because America is not prepared. A lot of these cities over here are going to be minimally or completely undefended. So I am able to be making very swift and aggressive moves. And the goal is to get the upper hand before the Allies turn their war machine on. So with that being said, I think I'm going to be attacking towards amphibious operations to unlock the marine faster. Starts with amphibious because I want to be making a lot of aggressive amphibious moves here in the beginning. I could also upgrade my fighter or get basic computers. I think it's better to get a marine here in the beginning. What else? Okay, there is. I'll mention it here. There is only a few buildings called the air transport placed on the map. I can't build anymore, but I only have 1 air transport building that lets me airlift units, and it's here in Tokyo. I think the Allies also have 1 in San Francisco, and there's a couple of others. We're doing a house rule, so each side can only airlift 1 time. So even though we're playing against the Americans and the Commonwealth, they will not be both doing an airlift each turn. Just to make it fair, I guess. Some other house rules: I cannot be switching their civics with espionage. No transport exploit. So that means I can't have this transport go meet another transport out in the middle of the ocean and swap my guy there, and then he continues along. So that's banned. And of course, the most important house rule, well, not really a house rule, but gentleman's agreement: they will not be watching these videos as I go along, because of course that would ruin it very quickly. If they were able to see all my moves, they would quickly get the upper hand, so that they will not be doing that, is what I'm saying. Right, we also have 2 corporations here in the Japanese Empire. We have Mitsubishi, which is fed by oil, iron, and this is this icon is rubber in this game. Let me show you guys where we can find some rubber. Yeah, so rubber. Even though it's the icon for sugar, it's rubber. So Mitsubishi Corporation is fed by oil, iron, rubber, and it gives us hammers and commerce. And we also have Kawasaki, which needs coal, and it gives us additional commerce and science. So we basically want to access raw materials as quickly as possible, true to real life. Here at the beginning of the game, we actually have 0 access to any oil. So that makes building a navy and an air force actually impossible, because we need oil. So luckily for us, there's a lot of oil to be found over here in Indonesia. Right. Okay. Also, no religions in this game. It's replaced by this concept called manpower. You can see each major faction has their own manpower: Japanese, American, British, yada yada, so on. How that works is, if I were to want to train a Japanese infantry, it needs Japanese manpower to be present in that city. And these are pre-placed. I cannot spread them to other cities. But the point is, I can't conquer like a city in China and train Japanese infantry. I could train like some basic stuff like a garrison or artillery or flak, but I will not be able to train Japanese infantry. I think I could train, or planes. Maybe tanks. I don't know exactly. I probably should know, but I don't. The point is, this manpower concept limits what you can train in each city. So we have our manpower pretty much on the mainland of Japan and over here in Korea and Manchuria. I definitely do want to spread my corporation around. What else do I want to talk about before I start making moves? That's most of it. Yeah, I have a vassal over here. We got our vassal of Siam. The Commonwealth and America and the Netherlands are all in a three-way permanent alliance. So they're going to be sharing visibility and research and all that. I don't have any friends other than my very poor vassal. I mean, if you look at him, he doesn't have much, so it's pretty much going to be me. But we start with a very strong position. Yeah, I think that's most of what I can talk about here. Like I said, this first turn is going to be longer because I want to set all my production here at the beginning and move all my units. And I want to explain all the beginnings. Right. Oh, I forgot to talk about the victory. Okay, yeah, so victory is achieved in this mod by controlling victory cities. There are 20 victory cities on the map. You can see over here in the scoreboard, the number next to each civilization is how many victory cities they are currently controlling. Commonwealth has 6, America 4. I have 8. If you look around the map, if you see a city that has all capital letters, such as Tokyo, that is a victory city. Or also the game will be ending in 1950, in January of 1950. 194 turns away. I don't think this game will be going that long. But yeah, so those are the victory conditions for how we win. Right. Oh, so let me name those victory cities real quick. Okay, so we have Calcutta, Rangoon, Singapore, Chungking, Batavia, Peking, Nanking, Manila, Shanghai, Okinawa, Tokyo, Iwo Jima, Saipan, Port Moresby, Sydney, Kwajalein, Guadalcanal, Midway, Pearl Harbor, and San Francisco. So spaced all around the map, over here from Calcutta over here to San Francisco. Never in between. This is Kwajalein. Oh God. I embarrass myself every time. I try to pronounce these places. Yes. But you can see even these very small kind of island cities that don't have a lot going on for it. You can see how much commerce is being brought in from the trade routes. A lot of commerce, so every single, and not too much maintenance, so every single city is generally worth it to capture and hold. And no inflation. So that means, like, even if I were to take, like, these cities, it's still bringing in some, a decent amount of commerce. Okay. I think that's enough chit-chat explaining the basic concept of this mod to you guys. Yeah. Alright. Oh, one more thing I should mention, because it's pretty relevant. The transport unit is a national unit. There's only 16 allowed. We have 13 currently available, so it says 3 left. And additionally, each transport can only hold 1 person. So this kind of balances it out, so it makes it so I can't just build a bunch of transports and go shipping off and capture San Francisco in 1 turn. Do like a Hail Mary or something. So it makes you be a little bit more methodical and strategic with the usage of your transports. Only 16 of them, and they can each carry only 1 guy. Right. And of course this mod, if you guys have ever played, what was it called? Dale's Combat mod. Or if you've ever played the Road to War mod that came with Beyond the Sword, that has kind of ranged combat. So like battleships, destroyers, artillery, you can hurt enemy units and other tiles by this range bombardment. So kind of gives you a little bit of flexibility instead of having to do like collateral damage by attacking it directly. Alright, so that's a lot to talk about. and we have a lot of moves to make, so let's get started with those moves. I think the most pressing one is the attack on Pearl Harbor. We start with the spy here. We can see they have plenty of battleships and cruisers and destroyers, and yeah, just a lot going on here. And we also surround their Pearl Harbor with a bunch of submarines. But of course, if you look at the destroyer in this mod, he has a big bonus against submarines. So destroyers, true to real life, counter submarines pretty well. And pretty good retreat odds, 50%. But yeah, not great for surviving. I don't want to throw all my submarines at these cruisers. Okay. I think let's get this war started with the attack on Pearl Harbor. In this mod, there's a few more options for air combat that we can find here. Let me show you guys. Let me show you guys a bomber, because the bomber has the most options for what he can do. Okay, so obviously you can attack units and deal collateral damage and all that. You can also bombard defenses, which is true to the base game for Civilization 4, but we can also airbomb buildings. We can also airbomb factories. If there are ships in the city, we can port airbomb. And these are very effective for damaging or sinking very quickly any ships that are hiding in that city, healing or whatever. And we can also damage the current production project of that city. So there's a lot more options, a lot more flexibility for bombers or fighters even to hurt the enemy situation without just only attacking their units or defenses. So those are the missions we're going to be using against Pearl Harbor. Alright, so let's do this one at a time just for the full effect to be shared one at a time. Okay, so we got all our zeros. They each have like look at that. So they each have like unique stats. Bonus against battleships, plus 200% versus water units. So you definitely want these guys over here in the Pacific War to go against their ships. Alright. Let's begin attacking Pearl Harbor. We sunk the USS West Virginia. Damage a destroyer. You can see all these are either sinking, outright sinking, or doing half damage, which is excellent. We sunk the USS Tennessee. USS New Orleans. Honolulu. Sunk the USS Honolulu. Yeah. USS Arizona. USS Oklahoma. I think we're doing pretty good odds so far. They had 8 battleships. 1, 2. They only have 4. So we're doing all right. Let's continue our attack. All right. Sunk a destroyer. Damage a destroyer. USS Raleigh. Damaged. USS Maryland. Sunk the 2nd Destroyer Division. Alright, doing some more damage. Got 2 more planes. Sunk another destroyer. And last one. Alright, I didn't need to knock on wood, but we did not get it intercepted a single time by anything. I think each of those destroyers had like a little bit of chance. Alright, so they have 2 battleships and 1 at half health. Wow, that went pretty well. Yeah. Alright, not too bad. Of course, they still have several destroyers, and destroyers do have the upper hand against my submarines. Alright. And of course, they have 4 cruisers here. Okay, so yeah, that was a nice first strike to kick off the Pacific War. Let me make a note to you guys on how warfare works in this mod, because there's one thing that's really changing the way for how you interact with warfare in this mod, and that is just how much movement each C unit has. You see this? We're talking 22, 25 movement for all these sea units. And they have a very small vision around them. It's not like researching optics in the base game or in Dawn of Civilization. Like, we have very small visibility, which can lead to a very... Well, number one, it leads to you wanting to make scouting maneuvers with, like, a destroyer or something before you send in the main fleet, because you don't want to walk into, like, the enemy within range of the enemy carriers and all that. It's going to be like a very intricate game of cat and mouse, trying to find where the enemy fleet is, avoid them, and hit them first. Because if we can hit them first with all our fighters and carriers and all that, that is a huge blow. As you can just see what's just happened here. Right. So the situation is, although we did a pretty good first strike, they still have 2 battleships, 2 cruisers, and then 4 cruisers here. So they have 6 cruisers full health. I don't have too much going on here. I have 2 battleships, 3 cruisers, and 2 destroyers, and the rest are carriers. So the point I'm trying to make here is I can't just linger around for part 2, right? Or could I? No, no. Because if he wanted to come, it might be decent odds. I don't want to go too far, though. Because I'm trying not to leave myself open for a counterattack. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just kind of move my fleet. And by the way, I didn't mention, but this is me starting this game. Like, I have the first movement in this scenario. We have a destroyer here. I might just send these guys west, do like a range bombardment, and just position my fleet like somewhere over here, about 20 tiles over here. So yeah, let's just do that. I still have my spy to kind of keep an eye on what he does with his fleet in Pearl Harbor, but I want to keep him nearby so I can potentially do a round 2. Because I'm going against the guy who's playing the Commonwealth is obviously going to be talking with the guy who's playing the United States. The guy who's played the Commonwealth has played this mod before, but the United States has not played this mod before. But they're obviously going to be trading advice on how to play and all that. Boom. Alright, so as you can see, I guess none of them hurt the actual units. I thought they did. I think sometimes they do. Anyways, yeah, we just did that range bombardment just because we're passing by. And we're going to... They have a... yeah, we're just going to continue right along. We don't have any transports really in the area to take Midway, but they do have 3 land units defending it. A marine, artillery, and a flak. I can, yeah, bring this guy. Why not? Alright. And I do want to kind of keep a few submarines kind of like as recon in this general area, because we have a lot of submarines over here off Pearl Harbor. Now we'll continue along. And I'll bring them a little bit more... Oh, we're out of movement. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. As for the submarines, none of their corporations have a bonus from any fishing boats, any fishing boat resources. So if it's not within range of their city, there's not really a point to blow it up or not. So I'm just gonna come over here and blow up this one whale because that's within range of the city. And we can continue on over here. I want to send a fair amount of submarines to kind of maybe potentially harass the western coast of the United States and Canada. And I did mention I want to have some submarines kind of over here to kind of keep an eye on what their fleet may or may not do. So I'll send you right here. I'm going to leave these cruisers alone because, yeah, 1% chance, that's not great. So a lot of these guys can just come on over here. How many submarines? I'll have maybe like these 3 submarines kind of like be reconning generally over here. So you can come here. come over here. And you can come, like, somewhere over here. Now, let me peek at what's going on this side. No defenders on Johnston. Okay. Noted. You can just end your movement here. Let's get all these moving out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to send these guys over here to California. And these two submarines, I might just kind of head south and kind of like... Because I believe, well, there are some things going over here. I don't know if they're going to reinforce these islands in the South Pacific, but I could head south with these two submarines. No defenders for this city either. You can come here. And this guy I will send just right here. Okay, Wake Island. So we have one transport loaded with a guy here, but I do believe Wake Island does have, yeah, has 2 ground unit defenders, a marine and a flak, and of course the a squadron. So if I can take Wake Island, I can destroy that fighting squadron without having to, without giving them a chance to fall back somewhere. So like I mentioned before, we have 13 transports loaded around the map, kind of ready to go for whatever. And here's one of them. Also have a few guys over here. I have another transport here. Let me take a look at our military advisor. Where are all our transports? Yeah, we don't have too much over here. Most of them are over here by China and Japan and Vietnam. We only have a few over here out in the ocean. So we have that guy, this guy, and we have another guy here. Oh, 2 transports here. Okay. So Guam has 1 garrison. Maybe we can take Guam with this guy. What are we looking at? Yeah, we can probably take Guam with this guy. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Well, what are our options? Where can we strike? Where do we want to strike, ladies and gentlemen? 3 defenders here. We can come help take Wake Island. We just have to kill 2 people. I think I want to take Wake Island because I'd like to take out that fighter if I can. I'm trying to do as much damage here in this first turn as possible. So tell you what, let's cruiser. And I do want destroyers to kind of accompany everywhere I go, because I don't know where submarines are going to be lurking. They are definitely the predators of the sea. So let's come on over here. One more note about transports I forgot to make. When they are involved with an amphibious assault of a tile, it actually ends that transport's turn. So I can't like take a city through an amphibious assault and then have the transports go into the city for cover. So my navy will be stuck offshore. All right, coming on over. We're gonna hit Wake Island. We're gonna take Wake Island this turn with these guys. So I'm just gonna have all these guys be in one big stack here. Let's go ahead and do a ranged bombardment. Okay, so looks like if there's no defenses for the city, then we can start hurting their units. So their marine got down to 21. So it's not doing too much damage, but of course every little bit of damage helps and gives the edge to our marines. Let's hit them with 95% chance. All right, good. And let's go take Wake Island. Where are we? Here we go. Right here. And you can see like the transport ran out of movement. So our navy will be stuck offshore for 1 turn. And let's take Wake Island. All right. Boom. So we've attacked Pearl Harbor. We've taken Wake Island. We got these 2 submarines sitting over here. I kind of want to do some recon. Use these guys for recons. I'm trying to keep an eye on like what the Americans do with their fleet. That's the big player. Him, I will send south. Usually, normally I'm gonna move these units 1 tile at a time. Let me make sure this. I want to show enemy moves. Okay. Yeah, normally I'm gonna move my naval units one tile at a time, but because it's the first turn, I know there's not going to be units out here in the middle of the water. What? Okay, so that's over here in the Pacific, taken care of. We have a lot of garrisons over here, but we need to wait for, like, and a marine, and yeah, obviously we got to tell the garrison to just sit there, and the marine to kind of sit there, nothing to do. One more note: the jungles in this mod are dangerous. Damage 10% per turn, so you do not want to sit on jungles unless you absolutely have to. So you can kind of like avoid amphibious assaults if you come land on this jungle, but you're going to be eating a decent amount of damage per turn. So try to I'm going to be trying to avoid that if possible. And no, to answer you guys' question, you cannot chop down a jungle until future tech, which is basically not happening. What do I do with this cruiser, this submarine? This submarine I might send over here. What's going on over here? So a lot of these island cities are unoccupied with any garrison. Fiji. Yeah, I do want to move on these cities, but yeah, kind of low priority because they're not victory cities and they're only one tile and there's not really resources down here. But of course, it'd be nice if we can do all that. You can just sit here. So minus 50% versus water units. Makes me wonder why you're over here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, because water units are who I need to be hitting with my airplanes. This cruiser, I'm gonna tell this cruiser to come join these guys. This bomber, I want to send a lot of my bombers to China. So the Chinese, I'll talk about the Chinese later, but they're obviously AI controlled, but they just have a lot of infantry. So I think bombers would be good to kind of hit them. Anyways, this guy's not needed here. I can keep the fighter here, just for fun. Yeah, intercept. Yeah, normally I would just have you intercept, but I want to show you guys just how limited visibility here in this mod is, and it really lends to the cat and mouse style of gameplay. So I'm going to do a recon mode. You can see how few tiles get revealed through recon. I don't know exactly how much it is in Beyond the Sword in the base game, but I know it's a lot more than this. So yeah, you're going to be really in the dark for where the enemy is with a lot of your movements, and you kind of just have to play the board. I'm going to be definitely making use of like things like this, like enemy fleet turn like 23. If I see him there last turn, and then I can like deduce from there that he's like 22 tiles away from there at least. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things to consider with this. Alright, so this bomber, I'm going to be sending you to Nanking. I want to hit these Chinese infantry. Fortify. Let's finish all the movement over here. Yeah, nothing going on here. We have 2 transports here ready to go. Do I want to take Guam? We have an infantry and an artillery. I don't think artillery can do ground attacks. I mean, amphibious attacks, sorry. And of course, we still have to take the Philippines. And we still need to secure... Oh, we have Japanese manpower here. We still need to secure oil as fast as possible, which is going to be over here in Indonesia. So what do I do with this fleet? And of course, we could... can't get that one. Where do I send this fleet? I'll come back to you guys, I think. Alright, yeah, let's deal with these guys. All these guys gotta fortify. Nothing to do. Tell you what, let me send these guys. What are we looking at here? So, 3 garrisons. 20% defense. And of course, we have naval superiority over here. I do want to take Manila. They do have a decent, like, they have like a tank unit over here and a decent amount of infantry over here. Not decent amount, but like a respectable amount. I can't just walk in there. And let me see. Yeah, 22. That's not great. I would need to hit this city for a few turns, so I'm not gonna worry about this city at the moment. What about this city up north? I don't want to come this far south just yet. I want to make sure I secure the Philippines as fast as possible. So there's one garrison here. Look at 60%, but of course we can hit their defenses, and maybe we can land here, hit them with artillery, and then take the city. Or we could do something else entirely and just come over here. Guam. Or we could hit Guam. I like the idea of hitting Guam. Nah, Philippines is more important. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna come over here and take Cebu. I'm gonna hit this city. So it looks like each ship did like 1% damage. Okay, for the defenses. What are we looking at? 64. That's still not great. Of course, we could hit it a little bit more. I think I'm gonna end up just landing on this tile with both these guys. 66.5. Yeah, I will just be landing here, and I want to do at least another turn of... Yeah, ends the movement. That's okay. I guess I could have used... No. Well, I was going to say, I guess I could have used them to hit the infantry, but I'd rather not, because they actually have some ships here in Manila. I'm going to be using these guys to hit their ships. I'll take Cebu in a couple turns. That ends the movement for my transports. I'm just going to keep pretty much everyone else here to support them. Where are... I think we have some submarines somewhere in the area. Yes, okay. So let's kind of check it out. So these cities over here, these British cities over here, are actually completely undefended. And the Dutch have like one defender in each of these cities. So this whole island of Borneo is basically undefended. I just have to go in and do minimal attacking. Yeah, undefended. Oh, here is a Dutch submarine. So we can definitely come hit it with a destroyer real quick. Not bad. Not bad. And we're going to keep on coming over here because I want to do some spying on Manila. So yeah, look at all these infantry divisions. So I'm gonna have to be doing a decent amount of fighting for Manila. They do have a fair amount of submarines and looks like at least one destroyer. So I want to be hitting these submarines now. So let's do that. Let's hit this. We sunk the submarine. Okay, so I think I'm better off trying to attack ships in port than hitting infantry for maybe 10% damage. I think the odds are just way in my favor for that. So let's hit their ship in port again. Okay, not too much damage, but hey, maybe we scared them a little bit. Couple more guys over here. I'll keep you here for now. Alright, so we have two destroyers. I do need to balance aggression while also keeping a decent amount of defenses for the mainland of Japan. I think I will be keeping these destroyers over here generally for guarding the mainland. So I'll send you to Osaka, and maybe you over here to Sendai, and you can just fortify. As for and ground forces as well. I'm obviously I want to keep at least a couple of garrisons in each city, as well as some planes and ships, just as like insurance policy against in case they kind of make a beeline for Japan. I don't want to be undefended, obviously. That would be embarrassing. So yeah, him with a -% versus water units, I could probably send you to China. These guys who have a bonus maritime patrol aircraft, I generally want to keep you in Japan. Kind of keep an eye on things. And he can see submarines, so that's beneficial. Bonus attack versus battleships, I do want some people keeping an eye on things here. You as well. I think generally I would probably want to just keep all these planes here just to guard the mainland. Tokyo is also, like I mentioned, the one city that has an airlift. I think I'm going to go ahead and just airlift one of these artillery units to China. So I get basically one airlift per turn. So, yeah, because we actually have a ton of, or a lot of infantry in China, but not too many artillery units. How many do we have? 19. So we can always use more, especially with all the infantry we have. So I will be airlifting, and all the infantry they have. I want to be able to do collateral damage. So let's airlift you to... I can't? Maybe it has to be like an infantry unit. I can't airlift an artillery. Oh, wait. No, I can. I don't know what I just said. Okay, yeah. So we're going to airlift you to... Nanking. Another destroyer here. I'll keep you here in Kushiro. I'll keep you over here. No, here. Somewhere over here. Alright. So I want to keep flax in probably all my mainland Japanese cities, but I don't think I need artillery. So, like, the artillery I can start congregating over here so I can ship to China. And, of course, so I want garrison and flax in pretty much all these Japanese cities. Cruiser. We have a transport here. I could probably stand to load up this infantry. I'll tell you what. I'm going to move this infantry to Tokyo, and I'll airlift him to China next turn. Couple cruisers and a transport. I'm going to pick up this artillery with this transport. 2 cruisers and artillery. Yeah, so I need to pick up some destroyers along the way, because I really don't like sending out like any stack of naval units without a destroyer involved. Here's a destroyer and here's a cruiser. I could use another destroyer. Oh, we have a lot. We have a lot here. We have like basically another whole fleet here. Several battleships. Yamato class, Nagato class, Kongo class. Wow. We have 0 destroyers here? Ooh, I thought I had destroyers here. Okay, now I need to keep you in Osaka. Let's pick up this medic, because I will need a medic. That destroyer needs to stay there. Come drop him off. And skip your turn. Yeah, you can guard. This infantry and artillery can congregate over here. Let me see. Yeah, same deal. Fortify. Infantry and artillery. Yep, we can send you over here. So all these guys are basically going to be sent to China. Fortify. We'll send you out over here. You know what? Actually, I do want to keep at least a couple of infantry in Japan so I can counterattack if they land somewhere. So maybe I'll keep him here. I'll keep a couple of infantry. Okay, sorry. Let me come back to a lot of these movements. I want to make my combat moves here in the beginning. So I made this move. I have a transport loaded here, ready to go. This Chinese city is unoccupied, so obviously I want to take this city. But what I also have are a couple paratroopers here. So I'm going to land him over here, and we're just going to walk into this city. All right. However, the Chinese have a big stack of infantry, basically in all these other cities. So to kind of prevent the AI from getting cocky and just walking into Fuchao to retake the city, I'm gonna be a little bit ballsy with my stack, and I'm gonna send all these guys right here onto this tile. And they don't have a whole lot of road tiles around this city, so we're just gonna come here. Yeah, look at all these Chinese infantry. So hopefully with the approach of my stack here, they don't get any smart ideas, and they just sit tight, and then I can start hitting them with bombers and artillery. This garrison will fortify. I don't need a maritime patrol aircraft here in Shanghai because it's kind of like in the heart of my empire. I will send you. I can send you to Saipan, I think. No, I'll send you over here. Yeah, I have all these random garrisons, like, and I guess you're okay, like, defending this random island here, but it's kind of like a lot. I'd rather, like, space you out to more strategic defenses. But fortify. What do I do with you? I'll do you later. What do I do with this transport? So I can come over here and I want to take Hong Kong this turn. They have a garrison and an artillery unit and then a destroyer unit inside. Looking at 87% chance against their garrison. So let me come over here with this guy. Hit them here. These two guys I'll probably send to tell you what. And this paratrooper I will send here. And we'll take this city of the Philippines. Alright. Like I said, they do have this tank unit here, who will be threatening us a little bit. He's strength 29. The Stewart, M3 Stewart. How do I want to counter that? I might hit them with an airplane or two. Let's see. I don't want to land here because it is a jungle tile. So if I'm hurt, like less than 10% strength, I'll just die from the jungle. I don't want that to happen. So this guy. Yeah, this guy I'll just send over here. And I think we can take Hong Kong with these two guys. Take out that garrison and that artillery. So let's do that here. I'm going to send battleship, cruiser, and 2 destroyers, I think. Let's do that. And then there's 3 destroyers over here. So it'll be like that. So yeah, so let's hit this city of Hong Kong. Alright. 95%. Let's do it. Alright, barely even hurt, just a little bit, and let's finish it off. Alright, Hong Kong has fallen. Bought some more tiles for Canton so you don't have to starve. I'll take care of all the city production later on. We're generally surrounded by the Chinese, so I think with this kind of group of people, I want you to kind of just hold tight, because I don't know what the AI is gonna do with their next move, honestly. Yeah, y'all fortify. What do I do with you? Battleship. So the British, we also have a decent stack here. With these guys, I'm gonna just march south and eventually take Singapore. So let's do that. Let's just march onto here. They actually have a decent amount of so they have a couple battleships here in Singapore, not to mention a destroyer. Decent amount of fenders, so I can't just do an amphibious assault. Not that I'm prepared to anyway. But the question is, how do I want to respond to this? How do I want to maybe hit their battleships in Singapore? Do I have planes nearby? These guys. Maritime patrol aircraft. Yeah, so a lot of these planes are unfortunately out of range. He's not. Minus 50% versus water units. See, that's not great. I don't want the minus strength against water units to be doing the attacking against their battleships. I guess it's better than nothing. Tell you what, let's have this transport come here. A peaceful landing like that doesn't end the transport's turn. So we dropped off this guy. Strength 24. He's strength 29. So I think if I hit them with a plane or two, that Stuart, he won't come attack me. Let me come back over here to Taiwan. Probably didn't need to move all the way. And I could pick up a tank of my own. Ooh. Yeah, let's do that. And, yeah, drop him off. Okay, good. I didn't realize he could get all the way back here. So now we have a strength 26. Not as strong as their Stuart, but, you know, putting up a fight. Let's fortify you. These guys, I will send southwest, I think. Because I'm dealing with the American Navy here in Manila, the British Navy here in Singapore. Yeah. Can anyone hit this tank? Ooh. Well, a lot of these guys can actually hit, tell you what, I'll move this 50th Air Regiment over here to here, give some air support for, oh, they can't even reach Manila. Ooh. I guess I can hit this fortress. Anyways, Maritime Patrol. I could keep you, I'd rather keep you over here. Range of 7. And I'll move you to over here. Okay, let's hit the American Navy over here in Manila. Even their submarines, so let's do that. Okay, hit their destroyer. Hit their submarine. I'm wounding them, but I'm not hurting them too much. And he's strength 8. Ugh. I don't even know if that's worth it to try to sink their ships here. I don't like the idea of having full strength enemy submarines like right here in the heart of my expansion zone. So let me keep hitting their submarines. Submarine or destroyer. Fortify. Alright, let's do it again. Yeah, that's not great. 14%. I mean, it's enough to give me the odds if he comes up against maybe like one of my destroyers. The destroyer's at half health almost, so that's not too bad. Let's just hit him a couple more times. Hit their submarine. Okay. I mean, I kind of just like scratched them a little bit, but I think all but 2 of their submarines are now damaged, so hopefully they'll think twice about coming out and causing a ruckus. And I'm going to have destroyers guarding all of my ships around. What do I do with these guys? A lot of destroyers here. How can we hit the Singapore fleet? That's my next contention. Yeah, so they have too many land units for me to do an assault. A lot of units here. It's hard to click on this now. Yeah, he can't reach, and he has minus against water units. Okay. We have a few people over here, minus against water units, yada yada. He gave me a tip. He said, like, I think he said it's possible for me to sink him over there. I don't know how. Well, you can hit him. Okay. Not you. Maritime. I don't need maritime over here in Vietnam. I need you, like, over here in the Pacific, basically. And then these heavy bombers. Like, I'd rather have these heavy bombers in China, but then again, I want to be able to hit their ships while they're sitting here in harbor this turn. So I think I just need to go all in on port air bomb, because this first turn is very critical. So let's go for it. 10% damage. Yeah, not great, but hopefully it's enough. And this guy, he has a bonus against battleships, but he's out of range. Oh well. And they have a couple of squadrons, so I might have you just on intercept. Yeah. Oof. Zero. Let's have the zero come over here. Yeah, so their battleships at 3/4 health. Another one's at, I guess, 3/4 health. So both their battleships are hurt, which is good. Of course, they could escape anywhere. I can't, like, box them in, really. Let's just keep hitting them, because I don't think I have any other targets. I'm not too keen to hit the land units just yet. I'll do that next turn. I gotta target ships first and foremost. So we got intercepted. We're just gonna keep on hitting their. Yeah, I'll move you here, I think. These guys. Intercept. So I have 3 guys on intercept. Oh. Yeah, 3 guys on intercept. This fighter, I'll send over here. Because my vassal actually has, like, a little stack of people here to take this undefended city. So that's going to go down next turn. What else? We have that transport. I have another paratrooper here. The problem is I don't know what to do with this guy. I could send you... I can't send you over here. Like, I don't... I'll send you here, actually. So yeah, like my vassal's about to take this city, but let me take it first. Yeah, let me do this. Hopefully my vassal helps me defend it, because they only have 1 defender in both these cities, so he's not about to come attack me, I don't think. What else? Submarine. Okay, so we have a couple cruisers here. We have a battleship here. Maybe I could, like, sink their cruisers here real quick. USS Houston, USS Boise. I'm gonna hit him. I want to take out these couple cruisers he has over here. So let me actually hit him with my couple of submarines I have over here. Out of range. Hopefully he withdraws. He withdrew. Okay, good. And I'll send you... I don't know. Somewhere over here. do decent amount of damage. Yeah, he's actually hurt pretty well, so I think we have the upper hand now with that guy. Let's do some range combat. 2 more. Good. Now let's hit them with the battleship. Ooh, he's hurt now. My battleship, that is. And this guy, let's finish him off. Okay, good. Of course, now we need to kind of heal our guys here. How far can we get? I would like to be in harbor to heal and not have to deal with any counterattack. He only has submarines here that can attack me. So, yeah, you know what? I'm going to just come... I'll send my wounded fleet guys over here to heal. Can heal here. These guys... Let's hit Manila. And... Let me see. Need to figure out what fleet to kind of deal with the British over here. Send you here to heal. I think I'm just going to keep on hitting these ships that they have in Singapore. And next turn, whenever he sends them off to go heal in Australia or India or something, I can send these bombers to China and have them do better, more effective work over there. But this turn is so critical for hurting their navy. All right, hitting them all pretty good. All right. And I have all these submarines. They only have 1 destroyer here. So what I could do, I don't know where he's going to send these battleships, but I would assume he's going to send them to, like, India for safer waters, right? So maybe, like, with these submarines... I might have my submarines kind of come over here and just kind of, like, preempt him going to the west. So let me do that, actually. Coming on, and I'll just sit right over here. Nice. My bad. I should have kept them all together. I should have spaced them out. So that's kind of sloppy on my part. Okay. Where else can we move? Oh yeah, I'm looking for a destroyer over here, but I don't think they have submarines over here. I'm pretty sure. You can come over here. Now send this destroyer and this carrier over here, I suppose. Well, this carrier I'll send over here. Yeah, skip your turn. Keep these guys together, protect that transport. All these battleships. What do I do with these guys? I have a lot of battleships here. The question is, how many battleships do I keep to protect the mainland of Japan? It's got to be at least a couple, right? It'd be so embarrassing if he kind of dashed for Japan and I had nothing to protect Japan. Of course, his fleet is way over here. So maybe I will send my Yamato class battleship and cruiser. We have 2 transports here as well. Send you guys here. In Tokyo. I don't know. Maybe I'll figure out what to do with you next turn. Also, like, a lot of my moves kind of depend... My subsequent moves depend on what they're going to do for their first turns. Because I have no idea how that's going to play out. Couple of submarines. These submarines can not hang out here. Yeah, pick up these couple of infantry with these transports. We can be on our way. Send them off to China. Well, we can drop them off here, I suppose. Yeah, let's do that. And we can send them to Formosa. And we can actually pick up a tank and a garrison. Let's have a let's bring a medic along to and we're gonna drop these guys off in the Philippines next turn. All right. So I want to bring as many land forces to the Philippines as fast as possible so I can take it over. It's kind of like a dagger poking at my back, and the sooner I can conquer it, the better. Right. Him. What do I do with you? I will send you to Formosa. I'm going to send this guy to Formosa and load him up in that carrier. Oh, can he not go on that carrier? What? My bad. I don't know. I think I just was dumb there for a second. And then I have 3 light carriers here, all fully loaded. Cargo space 1. I think I will just be sending these guys south. To right here. Right here. Join them up with these guys. Yeah, way too far to hit Singapore, unfortunately. But could we hit Manila? I think we could hit Manila, maybe. These guys. Let's do that. Let me send him to blow up this fort here. Failed. Okay, that's okay. And we sunk the 21st Submarine Division. Okay. So we're causing a bit of a ruckus over there. Good. Maritime. I do want some maritime. We have 2 in Tokyo. I think these guys could come east somewhere. Where did we just take? We took Wake Island. Where is that? Yeah, I'll send 1 to Wake Island. And then this guy, we have 1 here. Send here. I gotta keep some Air Force here in Japan, don't I? So maybe I'll keep 1. I'll send these 2 guys up here to Sendai. Maybe I'm being too conservative. I might be being too conservative. He's not about to come for Tokyo. Let's get real. I will. Yeah. But what do I send them? He has a bonus against water units. These 2 guys. Maybe I'll send these 2 guys here. I like that. Okay. And then these guys, these are interceptors. I think we already have plenty of interceptors in Japan at the moment. So these 3 guys, I will send south somewhere. I'll send them to my vassal over here, and we can provide air support to hopefully cut off the Burma road for China. We can do that. All right. Maritime. I don't need maritime here. I'll keep you to Iwo Jima. Send it to the vassal city. That would be good. These, I think I'll keep these 3 Japanese infantry in China And you as well. So keep you in Tokyo, keep you in Osaka. Alright. And everyone else I want to get off the mainland, I think. 4. Yeah, I can kick you off. What else? What else? Fortify. Yeah, so Korea, I didn't mention it before, but this mod is very scripted in the fact that I'm not going to be going to war with Soviet Union until 1945. So, although we have a decent amount of units like kind of hold up here in Manchuria and Korea, there's really no point to keep them here. It's a safe zone. So, like, all this artillery and flak and everything, I can pretty much send you elsewhere. Planes as well. Like, this ship that, or this plane that has a bonus against water units, I can pretty much send you to the Pacific and do good over there. Johnston would be a good strategic. It's like right by Pearl Harbor. So would Midway. They're both very strategic islands to take. With how close they are to Pearl Harbor. But let me send this guy. Oh, he's full. To Wake Island. And then this guy. I need garrisons in Wake Island, I suppose. I'll airlift. I'll airlift some garrisons. I want to bring a couple garrisons. But this is like my forward operation point, pretty much, until I can manage to take Johnston Island. Send you here. Yes, artillery and flak can both go. I don't know. Over here, somewhere. Garrison can stay, because obviously we need a garrison. We have a decent amount of garrisons in these cities that actually have 0 movement, so obviously they're going to be staying. But like these planes and all these infantry and these cavalry units we have, they can go elsewhere. Yeah. All these infantry, all these Chinese infantry as well. And the garrison. Yeah, we're just heading south and we're just gonna like completely hit China. I think like I should actually have. So the Chinese communists, they're obviously in the middle of a civil war right now. The Chinese and the communists and the nationalist Chinese. The Chinese only have. The communists only have one city at the moment. So I think if I were to move on this city, while there's a lot of infantry here, it's not like this other. The nationalists are going to come back them up, right? Yeah, they are in. Oh wait, no, they're not in a war. But they just don't like each other. But obviously, they're not going to help reinforce each other. So for that reason, I think this city is a good first city to hit for China. I can hit them and knock them out of the war, and the nationalists will not be going to back them up. The cavalry can come on over here. Oh, bombers. I want to have plenty of heavy bombers to hit all their infantry. So I'll send you over here. Send you. Where do I want to send you? Formosa. Nope. These cities are full. A couple of tanks. Wow. Garrison, all these infantry. Yes, sir. But all these border cities, I kind of need to just keep their garrisons sitting nice and tight, because I don't know what the Chinese are going to do with their forces whenever they make their first move. Fortify. Yeah, this guy with the bonus against water units, I'd rather them be involved in the Pacific War. Send you over here. Oh, you don't have range. That's okay. And I think they do have a couple of planes that they can potentially hit me with. So it wouldn't like be the worst idea to keep at least 1 or 2 interceptors here in China. Let me do recon over here. Oh, I forgot I don't. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Yeah, it's very little space is revealed through recon. I'm just gonna fortify, wait for their next move, wait for reinforcements to arrive, bring in the heavy bombers. They're gonna be unleashing a world of pain on the next turn. Tank. Yep, send the tank over here. All the infantry. Yeah, these garrisons cannot move, so these infantry are free to move. I will just have keep my cavalry here. I can send them south or to the west as needed. Flak. Send a flak here. Just fortify y'all. Send the cavalry over here, like I said. I don't know what to do with cavalry. They're kind of... they're not strong. They're only 15. Well, I guess their infantry is worth 14, so it's not bad. And they have a movement at 2. I'll keep you guys all here. Garrisons, they're gonna garrison. 6 movement left. Yeah, I gotta send you over here, I think. Skip your turn. Waiting for transports to come pick up all these guys sitting here. Oh, I got a tank here. What do I do with this tank? I have another guy with infantry. I could come and like take these 2 cities, which I think is probably the play. Yeah, I'm gonna do that because these 2 cities are undefended. So yeah, let me come over here. Let me send them along with 1 destroyer, just to be safe. Just scouting for submarines in case they start over here. Alright. Drop off this infantry. Boom. This guy as well. Drop off this tank. And like I mentioned before, like the Dutch have like 1 infantry in each of these cities, if anything. So I'm not worried about counterattack. Yeah, we hit their British Navy decently well here. And we have a lot of cruisers here, so we definitely have the upper hand. Send a destroyer here. Protect these 2 transports. The transports are kind of... until we can secure oil, because we don't have oil yet, fortunately. In a few turns we will, once our cultural borders push these oil resources, then we can start training some more transports. Got a marine here. Let's actually send this garrison over here. Or one of these garrisons. Not into the jungle, please. I don't wanna go onto the jungle. This is a big fleet I have here. I will, with these guys. Yeah, we got a lot. With these guys, I will send over here. Just join up with these guys. And this submarine, I will send off over here. Alright. I guess that's all the units. So now I'm going to go and give all my cities build orders. This is all the cities I just captured, so I'm just going to say wealth right now. Okay. Before I forget, let me go ahead and put my espionage into the enemy team. And I need to be keeping an eye on their espionage this game, because they could very well make the decision to absolutely crank up espionage to 100% for like a couple of turns, just so they can like see all that my cities are building and all that. And that's like a lot of valuable information. So I need to be keeping an eye on what they do with their espionage. I think I'll just be keeping mine at 0% for now. Yeah, I guess that's a good first turn for all my military moves I can make. I think I'm going to be airlifting a lot of garrisons here from Tokyo. Taking advantage of that a lot. Yeah. So I'm going to be training a lot more garrisons to send to Tokyo so we can airdrop them. And let's go through the long process of giving all our cities build orders. So we don't have oil, so that kind of limits us. I do want to spread my corporation generally, both my corporations. This city only has Mitsubishi, so I'll train executive here. Oh, and it's a national unit. I can only train one of them. And Tokyo, I will train Kawasaki. I didn't mention it before, but my national wonders, my iron works is over here in Sendai, so this is going to be like my production city. A lot of production. And my Wall Street and Oxford University, and both the headquarters for my corporations are here in Tokyo. So this is my wealth and science capital. So I should be running scientists here, basically, in Tokyo. Alright, let's go through all and give them all something to do. Wealth. Yeah, so like I said, I want to be training a lot of garrisons to send off to all the new cities I've captured. Yeah, garrison. Because I don't want to just give the enemy the opportunity to just walk into my cities I captured without a fight. I gotta do something. So let me explain the one tile city islands. The building that gives +1 food on ocean tiles, the lighthouse, requires a city size of 4. So these cities are kind of permanently destined to be small, to be size 2 at most. So these cities, I'm pretty much just okay with them building wealth and kind of just not doing anything. It's not, I mean, yeah, you're better off just building wealth, I would say. Alright, this city can train a garrison. I want these cities to grow. But you know what, I also do want to train a number of workers, because we actually don't have a single worker in our empire. And the thing with workers in this mod, you can set them on top of cities and they can be expended to construct fortifications for more defense, bunker for protecting from air units, harbor for building water units faster, or an air base for giving XP to air units. So workers are not only good for improving tiles, and of course I can probably stand to put a railroad on this tile to give +1 hammer, or put a lumber mill in this tile for more hammers. So like there's still tiles to improve, not to mention like there's iron here. I still need to get a mine on for more resources for my corporations. So I do want to train a few workers everywhere. Don't know what to build here. Because, like, I could train a worker here, but then, like, do I really want to send a transport all the way over here? I only have 16 transports maximum, remember? And they can only carry one at a time. So, I don't know. I guess, like, the city's got nothing better to do. I can find the time to have the transport do something. Yeah, let me just go through one at a time. All these cities. Good. Worker, wealth, yep. All these cities just build wealth. That's okay. Yeah. One tile. Island cities. These cities are just captured. Build wealth for now. I'll give them orders later. This city, these cities over here in Indochina, I could, I guess, train a couple of workers. Well, I want them to grow because there's so much food here. Maybe I'll train a garrison. But there's not a whole lot of production here, is there? I'll let it grow for a few turns. Are there... Because I could make, like... Yeah, okay, a worker would not be a bad idea. To make a railroad around here. I'll train 2 workers over here. I'll train 3 workers over here. Now there's I'll make a garrison here. Make a garrison here. Because remember, we don't have Japanese manpower, so we can't train infantry in a lot of these cities. And we don't have oil, so we're kind of limited for that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Alright, let's continue along. Gotta get to our Chinese cities. Oh, this city. I might want to make a factory here. This city has power? The city does not have power. But I think, like... It's at the happiness cap, so I could, like, throw on another engineer later on. Do I want to invest in a factory here? Why not? I suppose. Now let's do barracks first. Yeah. We could just train like garrisons here. I'll do barracks. Not enough hammers in that other city. This city, when we get mines on these tiles, decent amount of hammers here. So let's go ahead and start making a factory here. Wealth for this city. So when I eventually, I'm planning ahead here. When I eventually take these 3 cities, there's a lot of river tiles nearby. I think I should go ahead and make a levy in this city. It's only 10 turns, and when I take these cities, it's going to be a lot of potential hammers flowing into Wuhan. So I'll go ahead and start making a levy here. Wealth here. I do want to train some workers in China as well. A lot of food going on. So we can train like a worker here. A lot of hammers here. So let's go ahead and make a factory here actually first. Let's see. A worker here. And a worker here. We have a barracks, so we can train artillery here. Now I'll make a worker because it's towards the happiness cap, so I might as well. I'd rather train all my workers here at the beginning, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Not too many hammers coming in here. I could put a workshop here. Oh, there's a levy here. I could put like a workshop here as well. I could get a few more hammers, I suppose. And it already has a factory, so maybe I'll make a shale plant here for power. Pyongyang. We're at the health cap. I don't know if I want to start making like a supermarket and stuff. We do have power here. Let's go ahead and make a barracks because we do have Japanese manpower here, so we can train some of our Marines and stuff later on. Requires a military academy. I didn't see that for the Marine. Let me look at the military academy. I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. So whenever I get a great general, I could probably expend him here, so I can then, at that point, train Marines and stuff. Huh. Interesting. So I need to start making great generals. Good news is we're close to our first one. We'll see what I want to do with my first one. Yeah, I could make a barracks here in the meantime. Or no, I'll go ahead and make a supermarket while we're waiting for a great general to come here. And then I can put mines on these tiles. Yeah, it'll be fun. You go ahead and work that tile over here. Seoul, what do I want to do with Seoul? We're at the health cap here. I guess I could go ahead and make a supermarket here. Kind of feels weird. Shipyard. There's a lot of hammers here in Seoul. And I could send a worker over here to make a shipyard so I can start training, like, naval units. Yeah, I will be doing that. A shipyard. Builds water units 100% faster. I'll send a worker over here later on to Seoul, and we can start training water units here as well. What do I want to make in Nagasaki? I could make a harbor, or a worker real quick, excuse me. And maybe a supermarket after that. Hiroshima, I will train another worker. Why not? A lot of food going on here. Osaka. Osaka's got to be a garrison. Why not? Alright, I think that's like all our... Oh, there's a few movements. Formosa. A factory. It's a big investment. Not too many hammers here. There's just one coal resource. We have a barracks here. Let me go ahead and just make a garrison. And of course, I don't mind turning down my research a bit to keep it positive. Alright, I think that is basically all our decisions we have to make here in this first turn. Let me give these few Chinese cities some orders. Shanghai is angry at me. We yearn to join our motherland. They're also starving a little bit. Let me go ahead and make... There's a levee here. Let me go ahead and make a shale plant to give power. So I don't care if they starve a little bit because they're already angry at me. Nanking. No Japanese manpower, but let's make a barracks so we can start training some artillery units. And this city, there's a spice resource here. This city, I'll train a worker. So I think we're training a lot of workers here in our first turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. But like I explained, they're very versatile, and I'd rather train as many as I need here in the beginning than having to worry about them later on. There's tiles I need to improve, railroads I need to build, and buildings I need to free build with them. Obviously I can't make any settlers settle in new cities, so I think that's that for our first turn. Let's keep positive for this first turn. Yeah, I don't think there's any fishing boats I could... This city... I could do this to get culture for one turn. Let me do that so I can get this and maybe make a whaling boat here, actually. I'll make a merchant ship here so we can make a whaling boat for this city over here. Yeah. Any more fishing boats? I don't think there's more fishing boats. Alright, guys. That was the first turn of the multiplayer game of the World War II in the Pacific. Like I said, please feel free to leave any comments regarding ideas or strategies or suggestions about what I need to be doing. I've played like a few turns of this mod as the Americans, but this is really my first time I'm exploring it as the Japanese, so I'm kind of out of my element a little bit, because I'm going against Tigranes with the Commonwealth, who has played this mod quite a bit. Actually, he modified this mod slightly for this multiplayer game. Got a lot of things going on. I hope to accomplish a lot in the following turns. I hope I sent them reeling with the attack on Pearl Harbor and attacking the fleet at Singapore and taking several cities around the map. I hope I didn't leave anywhere obviously exposed. But that's always going to be in the back of my mind, and that's part of the game of the cat and mouse that you don't know what is going to be going on. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to end this turn. Of course, once I do, then it's out of my hands, and it's going to go through 2 more humans before it comes back to me. So that's like the nervousness of it. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I expect the following turns to be a lot faster because I'm not giving all my cities orders. I'm not moving all my units. It was just this first one I explained things and moved everything. So, thank you guys for watching. Once again, hope to see you guys in the next one. And the next civilization for the historical victory videos, coincidentally, is Japan. It kind of just worked out like that. So I'm going to be playing a lot of Japan in the coming weeks. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed something new. Hope I pick up some new fans for this YouTube channel. And yeah, take care.